Hiyo and welcome back. Grab yourself a cup of coffee because today we're going to talk about an RV checklist pertaining to departures. It's a checklist with items on there so that you can check off and make sure that you don't miss anything before you leave. Now, whether you're leaving your campground or you're leaving your home to go to a destination, all the things are just about the same. So let's go over some of the things that are on this checklist itself. So on this checklist, it has 5 sections talking about the RV's interior and exterior. It also has a checklist item for the interior of your vehicle and the exterior of your vehicle. And then it has a final walk around, just some final things to check on before you leave where you're currently at the moment. So let's talk about the RV interior itself. So some of the checklist items on here are talking about items that you have in your RV. Are they stored and are they secured? Are your cupboards closed? So are they closed and locked down so they won't open and things fall out? Are the ceiling vents closed? So do you have ceiling vents in your RV? Have you opened them to let breezes through or to get some exhaust out or get heat out or whatever it may be, the reason that you had them open? Well, you need to make sure that you close those things. Are curtains closed? Are satellite TV dishes down? Are your TV antennas down? Now on my rig or my camper, I don't have a TV antenna that I have to let down. It's kind of stationary in itself. But if you have one of those, you need to make sure they're down so that you don't hit something going down the road and then you pop that thing off. Are the kitchen sinks and counters emptied? So you want to make sure that there's nothing on there, because if you start going down the road and you have something sitting on top of the camper, it could slide right on off of that counter and then break or create damage to itself. Are your refrigerator doors secured? Now ours has little click locks on it so that when you push it you can hear that click sound and hold it in place. So we have to make sure that they're closed so that whatever's in there doesn't fall out. Refrigerator power selected or off. Now this is an important thing. If you're going down the road and you have the type of refrigerator that can run on electric or propane, and you're going somewhere where you don't have to worry about whether the propane's on or off going down the road and you want to keep your refrigerator cold, you want to make sure you select that button, because if you don't have it selected, your refrigerator is going to thaw out, especially if you have a really long trip. Your water pump is off. Your slides are in. Now this may sound funny that you need a checklist to make sure that your slides are in. You might think, hey, why do I need to make sure my slides are in? That's a given. Well, believe it or not, there have been stories and some videos out there where people have gone down the road and left their slide outs open, and others have posted about it, said, hey, watch this, see this, can you believe this? So it can and does happen, especially if you're getting busy and you get distracted. And then the last checklist item on here is that your water heater, furnace, or AC is turned off. The reason you want to make sure that your water heater or your furnace is turned off is as you're going down the road, wind comes around your RV and it starts blowing inside of those vents where those pilot lights are to keep those on. And there'll be a lot of extra work and a lot of wasted fuel if you don't do that. Now on to the RV's exterior. Check the fresh water level in your tank and feel if it's needed. Now for this checklist item, a lot of times we'll go in and put a little bit of water in the fresh tank, especially if we're going to go on some really long trips, because we may need to pull over somewhere and use the bathroom facilities or put some water in a bowl for the dogs or anything like that. But it's always good to make sure you have a little bit of fresh water available in case you need it. Drain black tanks and gray tanks. Draining your black and gray tanks. Most of the time you're going to be at a facility where you can drain your tanks. It's good to do this prior to leaving, mostly because that's extra weight that you don't need to carry down the road. Just remember how you shut off your propane. Now, as we stated before, if you want to run your refrigerator, you may want to leave your propane off, but just remember, if the destination that you're going to has a tunnel of some sort that you've got to go through, that the law states that you have to have your propane turned off. That means you're going to have to pull over somewhere, possibly in traffic, shut off the propane, get through the tunnel, pull back off somewhere, turn that propane back on. That way your refrigerator will have all it needs to be able to stay cold. Just keep that in mind. Some other items on the checklist. Raise your rear jacks. Hook up your travel trailer or your fifth wheel to your tow vehicle. Raise the front jacks. Remove the wheel chocks. Check tire pressures. Check your lights. Secure your RV steps. Store and lock all exterior hatches. And then check your towing vehicle just to make sure that everything is ready, connected, and safe. Onto your vehicle interior. Do you have drinks for a long trip? Do you need any travel mugs? Do you have your maps, your routes, or your GPS program? Music and radio ready. Cell phone, your purse, your wallet, your IDs. All keys are accounted for. Your sunglasses and sunscreen and hand sanitizer, wet ones, tissues, paper towels. Have your pets been walked prior to a long trip, and are they happy and ready to go? Are your mirrors adjusted so that you can see everything that you need to see? If you're somebody who's going to record something and you have cameras on board, are your batteries ready to go? Is your windshield clean? Do you have plenty of fuel? And do you have your seatbelts on? As far as the vehicle exterior, you have tire pressures, brake safety switches, your hitches are secure, and check all fluid levels under the hood. Check your oil, power steering, transmission fluids, coolant fluids, anything like that. And then for a final walk around, you want to make sure that all your windows, your doors, your steps, awnings, antennas, and vents, everything's closed, locked up, secured, because believe it or not, those things have been forgot before, and they've made it to this checklist to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. If you're leaving a campsite or a campground, make sure that you go around your rig, make sure that nothing has gotten forgotten or anything like that, so that you leave a good clean spot just the same way as it was when you got there. Visually plan your exit strategy. Now this is a good one. We were recently in a campground where it was a really tight, more than a 90-degree turn to get out. So we actually walked down and made sure that we looked around our exit to see how we were going to get out of there, especially if there was any traffic trying to come in. By doing that, it made it really easy on us when we did leave on how we were going to get out of there and get out safely without tearing up or damaging anything. Check for any limbs or trees for obstructions. Now you don't want anything to tear up your rig as you're driving out. Warm up the vehicle, especially right now around us it's really cold outside. So warming up that vehicle, having everything inside nice and warm for your trip to leave is one less headache that you have to worry about. Another good idea is to have a spotter standing around just to make sure that if there's any obstructions or anything like that that is really close, that you'll have somebody there to help watch. Now, most of the time when I'm leaving, I have my family with me, so they'll do a lot of the spotting for me. But it doesn't hurt, and most of the time you're going to get the respect of a campground of asking somebody there if they could spot for you while you're leaving. Now be careful of this. Just remember that this rig is yours and not theirs. So they're only going to care about it but so much. Now there are folks out there that care about your safety and the condition of your rig just as much as you do. But there are some out there that don't. So just be careful on how you pick and keep a close eye on things. As you're leaving, drive out slowly. Don't get in a hurry. And the last thing to check is your brake controller. Make sure that your brake controller is working correctly and it's set so that it's not either pulling away from you or pushing you down the road. Now, as I said in the beginning, you'll be able to get to this checklist by the description down below. And like I said, this one's just for departures. It's not getting to your site or anything like that. It's only for when you're leaving to make sure that you have everything in order. Now, I don't know about you, but a lot of times we'll leave and we'll get going down the road and we'll second guess or question ourselves saying, hey, is there something that I missed? I feel like something ain't right or anything like that. But if you have a checklist like this, you'll at least be able to check those items off and know that theirs are taken care of. Now, if you have other kinds of RV checklists or anything like that that you would like to share those down in the comments below. So until the next time, keep it safe, I-O, and God bless.